Now, there is no doubt about it at this point that many different actors, actresses, producers, writers, and directors within the Hollywood bubble, within the film industry, they are getting very defensive, very bitter over the fact that things are changing in this country. Things are changing around the entire world. We know that diversity, equity, and inclusion being used as a priority over merit and professionalism is finally going away, slowly but surely, in the entertainment field at least, whether it's film, music, television, and we have a lot of those like George Clooney, Julia Roberts, and now Alec Baldwin really losing their mind over all of this. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Alec Baldwin is that we know that his previous comments went viral when it came to calling the American people uneducated, misinformed, and quite frankly just pure stupid that really don't know what they're talking about. That's basically what he told all Americans of how he thinks of them. And that's exactly why a lot of people, a lot of the general public, a large portion of them, the majority of the public, want nothing to do with these actors and actresses anymore, really kind of lecturing them or saying it's their way or the highway type of thing, right? Now, one thing about Alec Baldwin is he's right up there with George Clooney and Julia Roberts by really saying the most nonsense things out there. Whatever he has to say in a desperate move to convince others to either regain back his fans, his lost fans that walked away from his work, that walked away from his failing career as an actor. Now, to top things off here, with Alec Baldwin, we already know that he's only making things worse for himself, with those like Julia Roberts, George Clooney, and now Baldwin trying to cope with the fact that the new Trump presidency is a thing. The entire woke media in Hollywood is now also in financial trouble after significant public backlash. Baldwin recently delivered the following about his thoughts on President Trump. How do I put my distaste with this man into words? He is juvenile, he doesn't know how to put a sentence together, and worst of all, he supports uneducated American citizens that are seriously misinformed, that refuse to research proper politics. I think what we all witnessed just a couple of days ago on the 20th was the end of this country. And I have so many friends and family members fleeing this country now, and I have been considering it as well because this is just craziness that he was able to fool the American people that easily just to get elected. He will never deliver on his promises. Everything was nothing but a lie, and his attack on DEI is something that I think should be viewed as a major wake-up call to all Americans because that is limiting our creativity both in the film and music industry. Thankfully, some famous studios out there are not budging to his demands. We don't need to either as actors. At this point, I think the American people would be better off trusting those within this industry that are trying to warn everybody of what's going on here, because this is very alarming behavior coming from President Donald Trump. And it needs to come to a halt right now. He tries to make the many actors and actresses out to be the bad guys, when in reality we are only trying to help people by throwing our politics out there. It's ridiculous to say that we have an agenda or an ideology, or are trying to reshape society with our ideology. Do you realize how ridiculous that sounds? It's ludicrous. And this is exactly what we have been talking about for years now, and especially within the past few months of what would happen if he won. So guys, before I move on about what Alec Baldwin is spewing again, he is yet doubling down on those comments that the majority of Americans are uneducated, misinformed citizens that really have no clue what they're talking about. This is exactly why you don't drag politics and say such nonsense into your career. This is exactly why Alec Baldwin, Julia Roberts, George Clooney will never learn that the more you say things like this, you're only driving your fans away and you're going to lose roles. And they're going to continue to lose roles the more they keep doubling down on all of this illogical nonsense. Now, we already know that Alec Baldwin is in a shattered state when it comes to his acting career right now between the whole legal situation that happened a couple of months ago, along with saying these comments that went viral. Now, the thing is, we know that Alec Baldwin is really trying to win back some of his lost fans. This isn't helping. This isn't helping one bit. The fact that he's trying to say that actors and actresses are now viewed as the bad guys and that they're throwing their politics out there just to warn people and to really kind of create this united country is not actually true. It's a false lie. It's a false narrative coming from Alec Baldwin. It seems like they really do want to divide the country. They deliberately want to misinform those that view them as actors and actresses, because in reality they really do love their politics. They want to stay in politics. That's why I like to call a lot of these actors as activists, because they are basically activists in disguise, using their acting platform or their fan base to kind of really, put that in a skyrocketed situation, right? But overall, moving on here, Alec Baldwin continues and goes on to conclude. This is where it gets interesting, all right? Just look at what he is doing now. It's executive orders almost every single day, he says. What can we expect next is beyond me, but I won't be surprised if anything else moving on. Actors get a bad reputation now. We are now officially viewed as those that are trying to divide this country. It's safe to say that the majority of the US at this point in 2025 is uneducated. They have no clue what they are talking about or reading, and also have no clue what is truly going on in the world. We need to also protect the media from President Trump. He is trying to silence many great programs like MSNBC, CNN, and ABC, which deliver the truth. We should never have to rely on podcasts or internet radio shows that spew out such nonsense. You can't really rely on that, and you never should. For Elon to even say that we are the media now with his X platform and how that is supported by Trump is another alarming thing. I mean, did you see that gesture that Elon made on stage the other day? Horrible, absolutely horrible behavior coming from all of him. Now, look, that's Alec Baldwin also getting very defensive over the media now diminishing. We know that CNN, I don't know if you guys knew about this, they are about to lay off hundreds of employees. Yes, hundreds of employees. They're losing millions upon millions of dollars. Their ratings are going down the drain. Same exact thing goes for MSNBC and ABC. So for them to defend the media, and specifically those channels, those programs, I think that's also another vivid view of these actors lying to the general public, because look, we all know the media lies to the general public. They will say whatever they have to say to either get ratings or to push out their ideology/agenda at all costs, whatever it takes. Even if it means driving their ratings down to the ground, they will stop at nothing, is what it seems, right? So again, Alec Baldwin, his career is basically dead in the water at this point, and by saying things like this, you're never going to recover. You're never going to make a rebound. You're never going to make a comeback, if you will. And I don't know in what right mind Alec Baldwin believes that this is going to result in a comeback or winning back some of those lost fans that walked away forever from his work, whether it's movies or anything that he's in. Nobody wants to hear from him anymore. Nobody wants to hear from Julia Roberts anymore. And the same exact thing goes as follows for George Clooney and Robert De Niro. Again, like I say, I think that this is going to continue throughout the month of January and especially throughout the remainder of 2025. But if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.